Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil, and in today's video we are loading the first of the grain for the merchant on my squeaky seat, which that's actually the engine there. But it's early in the morning, it's the day of the US elections getting called, and I've just woken up to see that Mr. Trump has won himself. And yeah, I don't generally get political, but what his election means for Ukraine and for Europe as a whole is God only knows. We'll get the grain bucket and we'll be ready to start loading grain when the lorry gets this far. How's the bucket on? Oh, staying more grain, I'll just double check. Yes, yeah, no, it's staying. So this is our barley here that we are sending off to start. So this is our dry barley. So 16% and less is what's here. So it's good, nice hard barley set up. Do need more than that. We have the triple trailer is also full of dry barley. Full of dry barley. So caterpillars come in to start feeding. So once we turn on the dive feeder. And if anyone is wondering what's the white stuff on the ground, it's not cement, it is calcium. It's calcium we're feeding to the bulls. Well, the bags got bust. We're moving it across. Start up this dive feeder for him, and he can be chewing away at that while I wait for the lorry to come and we get the lorry loaded up. We're just using the new telly this year to load. Usually we'd be using the load and shovel and the small telly, but with the big MDE grain bucket we shouldn't need the feeder could do with a wash. It's like that, it always ends up getting mouldy when you're feeding with all the meal dust and that sitting on it. To test out the grain bucket that we got with the teleporter, we asked for a grain bucket for it to speed up any grain work that we do, and it's definitely way quicker when you're at the mill. You keep the mill full, no bother, whereas with the small telly, especially with the new mill, it was hard enough to keep it filled. You didn't have much time for sweeping or that. So yeah, we'll wait. We'll ready to rock and roll when the lorry gets here. Quicker than usually, because we won't have as far to go. We'll be driving up and down the yard. So that's the plan. I'll take the camera on time lapse and we'll go ahead. We'll try and get this done. Flying it here, you definitely know that it's way quicker filling the lorry with this. Usually like it was a 2-hour slog. I already see grain. I've actually overshot the lorry with a bucket. I've got one end of it full. I'm just filling the back end, which is a little bit more difficult. It's just not that terrible square to me, and it's just on the roll of the yard where it starts to fall that way. So just kind of have to hit it a little bit differently, otherwise we get an awful land that way. So yeah, how am I finding this machine? Oh, absolutely lovely for this job. Super. So you just have the side, you have the height when you're filling, you can see more. So I can rattle the excess grain out of the bucket when I'm taking the bucket out of the face, so I don't have to try not to build too much within the yard, which I'm not doing too bad a job. Whereas the old heli or even the loading ship, you'd be whacking the stick side to side. This, you just press the button, turn it one way, and it rattles itself. Because of the height and this lovely panoramic window in front of me with a wiper, so I can keep it clean, means that I don't have to crease my neck looking forward and out. I can do it by looking back. So that is very nice. Just so many leaps and bounds ahead of the old head. That's my squeaky seat, but that might change later. This is why we went with a grain bucket when we got this, and that was one of the biggest things we were looking for, to just have bigger machine, higher capacity, quicker when it comes to jobs like this. So it just doesn't take as long, and you can get in and out quicker and move on to the next job of the day. Yeah, it's ticking all my boxes. I'll get this large filled up. I actually see I've overshot in another spot. I'm not used to being able to overshoot. Big one to be done. The wall spelt the far side of the lorry from overshooting. The back of the lorry is nearly full there now. We'll sweep it up and we'll throw it into the lorry loaded. Ready to rock and roll. He's just leveling it up there, trying to pull in. So we actually ended up with more left in here than I thought. There's still probably 2 trailer loads of our kind of trailer, not the Arctic load. Very good order. So yeah, happy days. Happy days. Ooh, wine to what's left in that out of that. Or forget about do something else with it. That is the first of the grain gone out of the yard. So we will probably be selling another 1 or 2 Arctic load to the merchant, and then we have a couple of customers want to buy a couple of ton of rolled barley, beans and oats and that. So we're going to supply that. So we'll sell about half of what we grew this year. Is what we need. The other half is for feeding to the livestock. So we grow more. We've always grown well, especially now. We've always grown more than we need. So the half that we sell pays for the half that we keep to feed to the cattle, and it all goes into feeding the cattle, and that is how we make our money on the cattle, is reducing costs. So first load gone, Liv. Oh, great. Actually, we'd have done it in no time. What time is that? Yeah, less than an hour to fill the trailer. Fill it in about 50 minutes, I'd say. And that's not too bad. It's a lot quicker than when we used to be going up and down with 2 yokes. So yeah, comfort with this machine. Happy out. So there's one more thing that'll be happening towards the end of this video with this machine, so we'll wait for that to come. And yeah, little and large. Anyways, we'll go to Bob's, shove in and feed them. Oh, just feed them their eyeball and the gator's loaded for it, so.
Gator's loaded, yeah, it's going to be loaded for all.
Right, happy out. And we have a JCB ECI van here. I know there is nothing majorly wrong with the teleporter. We're getting a new seat. And why we're getting a new seat? Well, it was news to us, we didn't order one. But we got a phone call yesterday from ECI saying that there was a seat coming to us from JCB. So, I don't know who. We thought maybe it was Liv's dad because he was a JCB dealer. And Liv rang him, it wasn't through him. So, just thank you to whoever was watching and didn't like the squeaking in the seat in the videos and saw the seat out for us. So, yeah. Thank you to them. Also, while they're here looking at the telly, we had one, not really an issue, but the steering was kind of just not in line. It was running about 2 inches to one side. You don't notice it in the yard, but when you're on the road, you notice it. So I was shown just how to adjust that, and they're going to adjust that now while they're here. So yeah, a new seat, so that should stop the squeaking for now anyways. Yeah, just gas. Anyways, that's the crack with the teleporter. So they're going to get that done. Me and Father Phil are heading off to sort out a lock of grain, and yeah, we'll come back later and we'll do another bit. So yeah, thank you to whoever sorted the seat for us. And it is now dark. We'll go to the telly and show you what was done, but we've done a bit of moving, and I'm just going to go through the meal shed now and how it is looking. So we moved the grain that we was left over from this side all the way over to this side, so that we can roll more stuff into that side. And just for us, it makes more sense to be that side than that side. So yeah, that's why we just moved that there. We moved the trailers that side, and we've more grain trailers. We also have our additives there, minerals and calcium for the bulls in the middle bay for the beans and barley. But it means now that we can drive in a tractor here to roll that way, because we can't get the tractor and mill in that side because the canopy in the shed is lower to the ground, and that's a pain in the ass. Anyways, so on the meal shed you will see we now have these lovely concrete walls, and that was part of the grain shed. The part of the grain shed was we were going to put 2 bays, so the 2 back walls, that one and this one, were needed for there, also the back for the new grain shed. So I was like, right, we're going to pour them too. And then the cousin was like, well, when we're in this shed, why don't we do it all? Pour all the bays, internals, the whole lot. And it has caused a bit of an issue on money, but it was a good idea at the time, and because we didn't know how long the grain shed was going to be taken, and I know I said we'd build it in 2 weeks, or whatever it was 2 weeks. That was when we needed it built by to be able to make use of it as a grain drying shed. That didn't happen obviously, but we got these walls poured instead, and that got us out of trouble because we could use the 3 bays for storing grain. Then as we got rid of grain, we had space for rolling, and we had all that. It just gave us more space, and it got us out of harvest without having the shed up behind. And that was massive for us. That's why we pushed ahead. So we ended up, not only did we pour the 2 back walls there, we also poured the back wall in this bay, and then we poured the 3 bays. So wall there, wall here, wall here, which has now left us, they're 8 foot high. It's left us with a near enough purpose-built meal shed. And the difference it has made is so good. Just the place is tight. I know that's a little bit messy there, but now the shed is tidier. It's more like a meal shed. The last thing we need to do to make this a proper meal shed is, if I can get Father Phil on board, which currently I can't, take off this canopy because it's a pain in the ass for trying to turn down the yard with machinery because of the height at that end of it, and put on roller doors. If I put on roller doors and don't take the canopy off, the roller doors that don't get opened will only gather outside the front of them because it'll be seen as a dry place to put crap. So canopy has to come off before roller doors go on, or I have another spot for rubbish gathering, and I hate that. The only issue it has caused is concrete is ridiculously expensive. I mean, ridiculous. The cost of pouring the walls in this shed was 10 grand, basically. It's a little bit less, but near enough 10 grand. Between concrete are 142 euros a cubic metre, including the VAT, the steel, the labour. That's what I've spent. And that had to come out of building the grain shed. And I was trying to do it out of cash at hand that I had from saving up on my YouTube money, but spent it and shed's not up. So we can only bring the shed so far. The shed may be going up next week. I don't know whether I'll be on holidays when it's be going up or not, but if it is, I'll try and make sure someone films it. If not, it'll just go up, but it's going to hit a standstill when we get that far. But we'll talk more about that when we get there. But yeah, just said I'd include it because we worked in here. Walls are in, making a job of the place, but it is ridiculous. Father Phil was saying he reckoned the time to build this shed, which would have included that one wall there and the floor, they spent about 6,000, built the shed back in the 90s. I think it was the 90s. Yeah, it was. It would have been the late 90s when they built this. So yeah, that just goes to show how much things have gone up. But anyways, we'll go look at the new seat in the telly. But I just said I'd show you that because it was in the video. We'll go bring in the lock of straw from outside what we call the pumpkin bales. Some of the bales that were out there for the pumpkin patch, just to have in for bedding. Don't worry about the beeping, that is just I am low on a diesel. But the big thing you should start to notice, now the new seat is in, no more squeaking. No squeaking, no squeaky seats anymore. Happy days. While your man from ECI was out, he sorted out my steering. It was running a little bit off. There was a wee discrepancy in the track rod and the sensor for straightening. So there's an electronic sensor on these. It's quite a simple system, and it just tells you when 2 plates line up, and then that's where dead center should be for tires, or straightforward. So when you flip between the different crab steer, 2-wheel or 4-wheel steer, it knows when wheels are straight, when to lock that axle or to move them in whatever way. And the sensor was kicking in too early when it was turned on the back wheels when they turned left. If the bottom sensor is here, when this came into like there, it was coming in a couple of mil from being actually center, whereas when it came the other way, it was coming on. So either side wasn't just activating at the same time. It's the one sensor was just picking it up early on the when turning from being left, turning back to right. Yeah. So that was all. So I got that straight now. So that is handy. I'm just going to try and gather bales. Do not want to drive on the grass. Live drove on the grass with the small teleporter and left tracks, and I do not want to do the same. We got that bale. We'll go fish for the second bale. So yeah, that's the crack. Happy days. Teleporter no longer has a squeaky seat, and big thank you to whoever sorted or organised that. Very happy. And just to finish off the video on loading grain, head again fixed, well not really fixed but sorted, and sheds. That's really it. Look, it's a video while we're on holidays. I hope you enjoyed it, something a little bit different. And if you have any questions or anything like that, as always, hit me in the comments down below. That is it for me. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. Good night.